Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Coming back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, hey folks, I'm Platter videos, series of videos I've been doing for the 1 hour over there. Try food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, and folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, at the time I'm doing this, folks, I might be doing a couple of re-reviews here today. Shit happens, we'll get into that. But yes, indeed, I'm going to try some stuff. I'm going to yammer on about it whilst I'm doing so. I'm inside the truck today. I'm also wearing grody work clothes, albeit I'm wearing my grody work jacket, which isn't as grody as my normal work clothes, so. But yeah, that's the format of the show. So what's that about re-reviews? Well, okay, so the next two items that I'm going to review are technically me doing re-reviews, because in one instance, I was in the middle of the review and I got interrupted by something, and it was something I just couldn't overlook, so I had to deal with it, had to stop the review. In this case, I actually did a full review for it. I even uploaded it for a little while, and I watched it back, and I wasn't happy with it. So, what am I trying for y'all today, folks? Well, we're doing, boom, Rowdy energy, specifically pineapple passion fruit. So yeah, like I said, I've technically already reviewed this. I have thoughts and feelings, but I'm going to do it again. It's 160 milligrams of natural caffeine, zero sugar. This is one of those power burn. This is one of those fancy schmancy energy drinks that's like trying to be more than an energy drink. And it's like, it'll do all the stuff and you'll grow in an extra foot, and then the foot will come off of you and it'll eventually grow into an extra you. And then if you find yourself in a situation where you have to go over there and pretend that you're dead, you just use the clone you that came off of the foot. It's calorie burn, natural energy, enhanced hydration, all that shit. I'm here because it's got pineapple in it. And who loves pineapple? Brandon Wenzel loves pineapple. I, in fact, have an entire pineapple playlist, specifically called the Pineapple Playlist, where you can follow all of my pineapple-y adventures. So, let's give this one a shot again, and see if I still like it. I remember enjoying it, but it was like a couple weeks ago when I went over there and originally reviewed it, so let's give it a go. I do still like that. First thing that I have to get out of the way that I like about this, it's zero sugar, but it doesn't taste like it. And if you're familiar with zero sugar stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are getting better and better with the zero sugar stuff, for sure. But it's still shaky ground, man. There's still hits and misses. I went over there, I recently reviewed some plant-based energy drinks, which eventually, they're not up at the moment, but eventually those will get uploaded. Those weren't even zero sugar. Those were actually had a little sugar, and they still tasted funky. So the fact that this tastes good while being zero sugar says a lot. But for me, it's all about the pineapple. As far as the pineapple goes in this, it's not bad. So, one of the things I'm sure I mentioned in my previous review of this, I can't tell you exactly what passion fruit tastes like. All those, like, more exotic fruits that kind of came about, like, those weren't really around when I was a kid. I mean, they started coming out more when I was, like, kind of a preteen and stuff. And it's not like I was, like, going over there like, hey, guys, did you hear about the neato new fruits that they have at the supermarket? No. So, I can't tell you exactly what passion fruit tastes like. But I'm guessing that the front end of this is the passion fruit aspect, which kind of makes sense. The tail end is more of the pineapple. And the nice thing about it is it has both the sweetness of the pineapple and it has the acidity of the pineapple. And for me, that's a huge deal. Because if all you're doing is getting the pineapple flavor, then that's great. Pineapple's delicious. But pineapple's a complex fruit. It's got a wonderful flavor. It's also sweet. It's also acidic. It's all those things together that make it the best fruit imaginable. This doesn't fully utilize every aspect of the pineapple, but it utilizes enough of it that I can't be mad at it. It has a nice acidity, which personally I like. And that tail end is very pineapple. It's got that nice sort of tangy, almost sour, but not quite. Like sort of a sweet sour at the very end, that pineapple taste. Now, the only point of contention that I really have with this is I would like more pineapple. For me, I mean, I would have been perfectly fine if it was just a pineapple energy drink. I think that would have been wonderful. But I'm perfectly fine with this. I actually like this quite a bit. It has a nice sort of tropical fruit flavor. And like I said, the pineapple plays nicely off the passion fruit. The passion fruit's a little bit more mellow. Pineapple gives it that little extra kick, which for me I'm perfectly down for. I think this is very good. To Rowdy Energy, you are worth reviewing twice. That's how good you were. If you sucked, I might not have done a second review. But I was like, nah, man, this is just kind of a good opportunity for me to drink another pineapple thing. And yeah, I mean, it's sweet, but not like overly sweet. Like it's not as heavy-handed as like a Monster. It's got a nice impact of flavor, but it's a little bit more subdued. But like I said, I think the thing that works so nicely about that is that you have that hit of acidity from the pineapple to give it that kick. And as far as like the zero sugar aspect is concerned, maybe if you really focus on it, you can kind of taste a little bit, like an undercurrent of that zero sugar. But honestly, I think that if you're not paying attention to it, if you just pick it up because you're like, oh, that sounds good, I don't think you're going to notice it. I certainly, I have to focus on it to notice it. But I actually really like this. 2 questions have to be asked, though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Well, I have gotten it again. But would I get it again? That's the question. Maybe. So here's the thing. Because ultimately, there are just straight up pineapple energy drinks. To date, my favorite is still the white pineapple from Monster. They also have the Monster Ultra Gold, which I like as well. But this is nice to have. I could see potentially getting this again. This is, I believe, the first of the Rowdy energies that I've tried. So, I have to go down the line. But this is a good start. I like this quite a bit. I could see, it wouldn't ever be my favorite energy drink, but I could see getting it again every so often. Now, would I recommend it? Yeah, I really would. I mean, it's 160 milligrams of caffeine in a relatively small bottle, so that could either be a good thing or a bad thing for you. Some folks, for me, if you're getting an energy drink, you should know what you're getting into. But at the same time, I also understand caffeine levels in energy drinks can vary wildly. So just kind of take that into account. For me, I actually think that's kind of a nice thing because, gives you a nice hit, you get a nice tropical taste to it, and, you drink it relatively quickly. Although I will say this, personal thing from your pal Brandon Wenzel, if you're trying to stay awake, do not chug the energy drink. That is a mistake. Sip the energy drink. Just take in a little bit at a time. That'll kind of carry you along further than if you just down it, where, yeah, you might get a jolt of energy, but you're also going to go over there and tank. If you just go over there and drink a little bit at a time, it does a better job, in my opinion. But yeah, I like it. Anyway, though, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You can go over there and have yourselves a truly rowdy rest of your life, folks, because, folks, it's not just an energy drink. It's a way of life. Just ask Rowdy Roddy Piper. I mean, you can't anymore. He sadly passed away. But, the guy was like a huge icon of the wrestling world for years and years and years. It's like one of the best like personalities during multiple eras. So, and on top of that, he was also an action movie star. And I know what you're thinking. Oh yeah, I know the John Carpenter. No, he did a couple of movies with Billy Blanks, aka the Tybo guy, called Tough and Deadly and Back in Action. They're two of the best 90s buddy, well, not really buddy cop, but like 90s action duo movies you will ever watch. Go watch them. They're wonderful. I love them so much. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But we do if can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, that's not always the easiest thing to do in the world, even in a world where we have not one, but two movies where Roddy Piper and Billy Blanks teamed up. Go watch those movies. Sadly, as stated, Roddy Piper is, of course, passed on. Billy Blanks is still going strong. I know he had hip replacement surgery. He's, getting older, and he did lots of kicking and stuff like that, with karate championships and stuff. But we're not always going to have those things available to us. It's important when we run into situations where we're lacking those, we find ourselves stressed out or, maybe frustrated. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to watch this review and maybe you're going to heed my advice and you're going to go over there and you're going to watch Back in Action and Tough and Deadly. And maybe, like me, you are going to absolutely fall in love with them. If that should be the case, please go ahead and hit me up in the comments. I have so many movies that I can recommend to you. I'm not even going to come up with another scenario. Normally I come up with like a wacky scenario, and then I come up with a more realistic scenario. The fact that we got two movies with Roddy Piper and Billy Blanks in starring roles, that's already absurd enough. Bye.